Are You Afraid of the Dark is back. I think I finished season 5. All right, season 5 is done. I have 2 here to do, and then we can move on to 6 and 7. And it was just announced that not only is the movie getting made, which we know about, but that a mini-series television show is also going to be released about the same time as the movie. They're supposed to come out around the same time. So Are You Afraid of the Dark is going to be back. I shouldn't be this excited about a kid's show. I don't give a shit. How exciting. I'm watching every damn episode with my kids. I just watched that Netflix series Creeped Out, which I covered the whole damn thing on here. I love it. I love it. Bring it back. Throw it on the big screen. Get a big movie. Do a TV series that ties into it. Hopefully it's the same kids. And I hope they do multiple seasons. I hope it doesn't stay. As long as it's good, obviously. If it's not good, then yeah, I don't want to see it. But so exciting. So look forward to that if you're still fans and want some nostalgia. It would be cool to see, you know, maybe one of the kids is Gary's kid. You know, and that's why he starts it, because for them to just be the Midnight Society and their new kids, I'm not sure why that would make sense unless they're Gary's kids or they're Kiki's kids or they're Samantha's kids or they're whatever. So hopefully one of them is related to one of the kids so that their tradition can be passed down. And to see one of them would be awesome. Like, you know, Gary comes out and he shows the kid. Maybe that will be in the movie. He shows the kid, his friends, the little spot there where they told the stories to each other. That'd be kick-ass. Oh, man, the nostalgia would be blazing. All right, so this is Kiki's story. Stig has not been accepted into the Midnight Society yet, so he decides he's just going to wear a bag over his head throughout the entire story. And she's like doing stuff on the ground, and he can't see it. And I thought that was pretty funny. For a second there, I definitely thought it was going to play into like the gag that it wasn't actually going to be Stig under there, and he was going to like pop up behind them and make them run away scared. You know, and they were going to pull it off, and it was just going to be some random kid who stood in his place, but that's not what happens. He just is like, oh my God, it's too hot in here. I got to get out of here. I can't breathe. All right, so the story is about this kid who goes to a retirement home, and she's just very picky about the age of her friends. When she realizes, obviously, it's like a bunch of old people. She's like, is there any other kids here my age? And then this little kid comes to this door, and she's maybe, I don't know, 2-3 years younger than her. She's like, tell me you're not, whatever the girl's name was. And she's like, no. And the other girl runs around the corner and is like, nah. And it's like, really? You're going to burn that bridge that quickly? Like, maybe that is her, and you're going to say that like you're so disappointed. That girl isn't that much younger than you. You should be stoked that there's a kid even close to your age. Like, what are the odds that there's only going to be like one kid in, you know, a 10-mile radius or something that's your age specifically? I just thought that was funny when she walked up and she's like, no, I hope you're not her. It's like, that kid's not really that much younger than you. I want to say the kid was like 10 and she was like, what, 12, 13? I don't know. It made me laugh when I saw it. I was like, damn, girl, you got some serious high standards for what you think you need in a friend. Beggars can't be choosers. So they go up, they hike. Of course, she doesn't listen. The girl's all afraid because she lives in the town and she knows the legend, and they see a symbol up on this rock. And in this episode, they make it seem like this ledge is not only so thin that you're gonna freaking walk right off of it, even if you're like, you know, pressed up against the wall. And then they show the ghost up there and he's just walking around like out there like it's some huge porch. It's hilarious like how much walking room he has. And I'm like, is that supposed to be like a cliff's edge? And then when they get up there, they're trying to convince you like it's really high up, and if they fall, it's like instant death for sure. And they show it because when they look up at it, it doesn't look that tall. And I thought for sure they were going to like get up there and they were going to pan over and it was going to be this huge drop and it would be like faking it out. And it was like, nope, not at all. They straight up went up to that ledge, looked down, and it was like 10 feet drop at best, maybe like 8 feet. And I was like, dude, I could freaking hop off of there and be totally fine. It was hilarious. How the hell this dude died falling off of there? I can't even begin to tell you. So anyway, and okay, so she sees a symbol, the symbol that's up there. She sees it drawn in the sand, dirt, whatever, in front of her with her friend right there. And they look at each other, the sand, they run off. And then they get in the house and she starts, the friend starts talking about whatever. And she's like, oh, you don't believe in that stuff, do you? And it's like, you don't believe with what you just saw. You're still not a believer. BS. I am calling full on BS. No way you would see that. Nobody. There's nothing that could make that happen, okay? That's one of those things that would be irrefutable evidence. Be like, okay, I'm a believer, 100%. Let's get the hell out of here, It was ridiculous that she was still skeptical after that. Absolutely unsure. And completely unafraid as well. Completely, just like, meh, no biggie. Ridiculous. So, Marjorie, the old woman upstairs, I think that's what her name was. We find out, of course, she was the girl that the ghost went up there to draw the freaking turtle dove or whatever the hell that thing is. I only think it's turtle dove because the things look like what is in Home Alone 2 when Kevin McAllister gets that fucking toy. Gets the little ornament or whatever. But yeah, it's just... I don't even know what the hell I was going to say there. I just got into Home Alone and I completely got lost. But yeah, he climbed up there to, vow his love because she didn't show up and he died thinking that she rejected him, which is really kind of sad. But here's the thing, and I don't get this at all. So the guy's up there and he mistakes the girl for Marjorie because she looks like her, I guess, when she was younger. The girl's like 12 years old and this guy's like 20. So I'm not sure why he thinks that girl's her. And if she does really actually look like her, that's a scary ghost. But regardless, she's like, I'm not her. Marjorie still loves you. She's in the house 10 fucking feet away. Here's the thing. He comes to her window and sees her. Now, of course, he doesn't recognize her because she's old as hell now. But she's been, like, if he can come that far away from the rock and Marjorie still lives in town and all he has to do is just go to her, why doesn't he ever? It's been like 80 years. I don't know, that part was so... It's a kid's show, of course, but I just saw it and I was like, really? You couldn't have just went to her house? You can show yourself to whoever, so show yourself to Marjorie. There she is. Her name probably isn't even Marjorie. Is it? I don't know. I watched a couple days ago. I think that's what it was. But the friend has to overcome her fear of heights to save her friend, and when she grabs her hand and has to pull her up, hilarious. Hilarious. Sly Stallone couldn't even pull his girlfriend up in Cliffhanger, and that dude was eating roids for breakfast. And this little girl just grabs her and pulls her, and then she just comes right on up like no big deal. Get out of here. That is so silly. I love it. I love how silly it is. Doesn't matter. All in all, this is a fun one. For some reason, the music box turns into doves and flies away. I don't know why that would happen. So yeah, Marjorie and him get together as ghosts because she dies. It's sweet. It's romantic. They walk away. And then the music box turns into doves and flies away. That part makes zero sense to me. But as I said, it's a kid's show. I'm not overanalyzing it. I've went way too long on this damn episode. Let's move on to the next one.